So I decided that I probably need a bit of diversifying and a bit of to sensitize a bit my the way I had to speak. And so I figured it's probably going to help to speak to woke Tim here, who has lots of experience in understanding the millennials and their opinions. So thank you so much, woke Tim.
Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited.
So I wanted to ask you a couple questions, something that happens to me often. One of my followers, this guy, he was being a real bitch to me, and he was.
So if we could just avoid using language like because it demeans women, and I really just don't want us to come across in that way from the beginning. So if you could just find an alternative language, then if you could find something like he was being a bit negative, that would be more inclusive.
So he was being like an to say what it is, and I was saying like, guys, just relax. Like what's your freaking problem? And the problem he was saying was that I was not talking so much about the kind of humor that he likes. So it's because the other day someone was saying, I did a video showing meat. I was cooking meat on a barbecue, and it was like really juicy pork meat. And someone was saying, that's please don't show it. And I said, but this is part of a special cooking segment, so just buzz off.
So I don't know if you know what impact the meat industry has on the environment, but by promoting meat consumption on your channel, you're actually contributing to global warming. And if the planet warms, it's not good for anyone, especially oppressed minorities. So we really want to be careful and sensitive towards that. So if you could just avoid showing any sort of meat on your channel.
Yes, but for a question now, back to you. Have you actually had grilling, sizzling hot pork meat on the barbecue recently?
So I'm what you call a shadow only vegan, which means I only eat food that can't cast a shadow. So meat absolutely is something that I do not partake in the consumption of. And if everyone else were to stop eating meat today, we'd actually be a lot better for everyone, especially oppressed minorities.
What are you talking about the shadow? I don't understand the shadow only. Whose shadow? For who?
So not understanding is just basically another way to express ignorance. And I really would implore you to get a better education so you could understand where someone like myself is coming from. And you know what? That's not a burden that has to be placed upon me. Because who am I to explain the world to you? I'm here to help you make your channel more sensitive. And honestly, I don't like the way it's going.
Name me one thing that you eat that doesn't have a shadow. Go ahead and name me one thing. No shadows, no shadow. The light goes straight through it.
Okay, you're getting really hung up on this, and I can tell that it's your fragile masculinity speaking. So if we can just try to shelf this and move on to your next question, that'd be a lot better for both of us. Because if not, honestly, I'm feeling a little bit microaggressed upon, and I didn't come here to be microaggressed upon.
I'm not trying to micro anything, and that my masculinity is not fragile. It's just a question of, okay, anyways. Moving on to another one, the question that I had on my thing was someone that was saying that because I was putting on sunscreen on my skin, they was complaining about, pigmentation. And they were saying some things like, why you have to go show off that you put on sunscreen for?
Are you white?
Yes.
So did you know that means that you are inherently racist?
Why do you say that?
Because you're white.
No, I'm not. I am, but I'm not racist.
Yes. You're part of the majority oppressive group.
Well, that seems like a bit like you loaded me on. You're loading me.
Loading you?
Yeah, you loaded me onto questions.
Like your life has been loaded with straight white male privileges?
Maybe we should just move on. Is that all right?
You know, it's funny. Whenever you press a straight white man on their privileges, they are so quick to move on.
Yeah, but just because we don't have a lot of time. So, do you feel like certain, for example, certain cows, certain pigs, do you feel like they taste different depending on the gender of the animal?
So there was so much wrong with that question that I won't even dignify it with a response. And in fact, I'm feeling very
So, do you think it tastes different or not? So, thank you so much, Tim, for waking me up and showing me how to be a bit more sensitive to my audience. Thanks so much. Really appreciate your time.